Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how.
Surf music. In its day, the early 1960s, it exploded across the nation, informed us of the many pleasures of the surfing lifestyle, and made major stars out of the Beach Boys and the Ventures. You may be wondering, what does Wisconsin have to do with surf music? You should know by now that the answer to that or any other question you have for me is everything. Welcome to Wisconsinology on Music, a collaboration with 91.1 The Avenue and Wisconsinology.com. During the early part of the 20th century, Hawaii's Duke Kahanamoku introduced surfing and the aloha spirit of Hawaii to the entire world. One of his disciples was Tom Blake, a young athlete inventor from northern Wisconsin, who is acknowledged by today's surfing community as the father of the modern surfboard and the inventor of the surf lifestyle. In the early 1920s, Blake was the first person to surf Malibu Beach. Splitting his time between California and Hawaii, he reinvented the surfboard and became the first to shape and create new, smaller, lighter surfboards with underside fins attached. Just like that, the massive, heavy, unwieldy Hawaiian boards of old, some weighing over 300 pounds, were replaced by a new industry of Blake's creation that made the sport more accessible. He soon organized the world's first surfing competitions and won them all. As the Great Depression began in 1929, Tom Blake was happily living in a tiny shack on a beach in Hawaii. In the 1930s, Wisconsin was home to a generation of brilliant pioneers dealing with all things water. In Milwaukee, Max Gene Knoll, already a world-famous salvage diver, invented scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Using an early version of this equipment, he made what was, at the time, the world's deepest dive. At the same time, in Hawaii, Tom Blake was, along with everything else he did, pushing the boundaries of underwater photography by building the first practical, lightweight underwater housing for a camera. His underwater photo essay in a 1935 issue of National Geographic became a sensation, and the first of its kind. That same year, he wrote the first book ever written about surfing, and a year later, near Waikiki, he made a run estimated at 4,500 feet, the longest recorded surf ride in history. You would think all these accomplishments would be enough, but what captured the imagination of the public was not so much his inventions or skills as a surfer. What did the trick to make surfing and the surfing lifestyle go big was Tom Blake's personal lifestyle. He lived on a beach. He was a vegetarian. He surfed from dusk till dawn. He surfed to achieve Zen. When he wasn't surfing, he was on the beach shaping new boards, inventing such things as windsurfing. He was exotic, drop-dead handsome, and cool. Everything about him was a relief to the dreary world of the Great Depression. Tom Blake invented surfing as a choice and a lifestyle, and everyone took notice. By the 1950s, the popularity of surfing was growing exponentially. Tom Blake, who sought solitude above all else, was getting older. He left Hawaii, drifted among the states for a while, and eventually returned to his hometown on the shores of Lake Superior in northern Wisconsin. There, he found great peace hiking through the deep woods and along the wild shores of the greatest of the Great Lakes. Tom Blake passed away in 1994. In the end, he lived in a tiny apartment in Ashland. He owned one plate, one knife, one fork, one dish, and one chair. He preferred it that way. Upon news of his death, the international surfing community gave him this epitaph: "Without Tom Blake, there would be no us." For 91.1 The Avenue, I am Frank Anderson.
Wisconsinology on Music is presented by a grant from the Bright Idea Fund from the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley Region, a supporting partner of The Avenue.